Some people don't hire a real estate agent when they're selling a property, but that's a mistake. And here are some key things to remember if you're also debating that same thing as well. So whenever you hire a real estate professional to sell your property, you gotta obviously hire the right one. You don't wanna hire just anybody to sell your home. You wanna be able to interview them and get some feedback about what they think about the price of your home and what makes them different from other agents and how they're gonna advertise your property to buyers. Because the key thing is a realtor brings people into the home. Once they enter the home, it's up to the people to really dictate what they feel about the space and how much they want to pay. But the job of the realtor is to get them inside the door and be able to have as much traffic as possible walk through to be able to generate the seller the most amount of money in doing so. Just keep in mind, I know that real estate agents, to a lot of people, especially with the shows that are being on today on Netflix and things like that, that it shows these agents make so much money. But keep in mind, the price and the cost that comes with the realtor, there's so much expenses behind the scenes that justify why a realtor charges what they do in their fees. And just keep in mind too, whenever you sell a home, realtors get paid a commission of the sale. Usually it's about 4 to 5%, typically 5%. In the US, it might even be 6%. But whatever you sell for, just think about it as the price and the cost that comes with hiring a realtor is built into the price that you sell for. So don't think that whatever price you sell for with a realtor is what anybody can get selling privately. You got to remember, the realtor does a lot of things behind the scenes to be able to promote that home that I mentioned before, that it really drives traffic to a home, and that a lot of people who sell privately just don't know how to do and don't have that same exposure when selling a home. But something too to keep in mind is that whenever you're selling a home, it's a very emotional process. And I did a video about this before, but being a realtor, we are the wall between the emotional process of the seller and the buyer. Because whenever you buy a home, it's very emotional. You want to be able to get it for a certain price. And whenever you sell a home, there's so many years of memories that are built into that property that it can be very emotional when selling as well. So as a realtor, we are emotionless when it comes to selling the property. Our job is to get the most for the sellers and the least amount of cost for the buyers. So, our job is not to be emotional with it. We just want to be able to get the best deal for our clients. But that's very important whenever selling a property. Whenever people sell privately, that's one thing you'll realize. They're very emotional about the process. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to generate interest by the words that they say. And that can really cost them thousands of dollars that people don't realize that whenever they say or do things that it costs them money, and they may as well hire a realtor with a fee to be able to get them a certain price rather than people jeopardizing the sale themselves and getting only a certain price because of them not knowing how to negotiate properly. So whenever a realtor sells a property, there's a good chance that that realtor is helping those same people buy a property as well. And when you have a realtor to help in that process, it makes things a lot easier and it makes the transition smooth in the process. So, when people don't know the whole thing behind buying and selling, sometimes, they can look on Google, they can look on YouTube and find these things out, but there's nothing like a realtor who's been there, done that, to be able to guide people and show them what's involved and be able to tell them worst case scenarios and what to avoid and how to put an offer together, the wording and everything involved. So again, this is just a few of the things that a realtor can help you with, but there's a lot of key things that an experienced realtor can help people with in regards to avoiding certain worst case scenarios that people who sell privately just don't know what to look for. Also too, this is very important, but when sellers are realtors, in other words, when realtors sell their own home, that's also a recipe of disaster. And I've seen that a lot of times in my industry. So a lot of people who are agents, they think that they can just sell their own home and, not have any emotion attached to it. But I've seen it more time than not that agents who sell their own home are very emotional in that process, and they're actually jeopardizing the deal because of how they're approaching the situation. So in a lot of these cases, it's better if the realtor just hires somebody else, pay the fee, do whatever they got to do, and have somebody else who's, again, not any emotion involved to be able to negotiate the deal and, not being involved directly so that you see and hear what people are saying about your home and that affects your perception and how you negotiate with people. So I highly advise, if you're a realtor, look into hiring someone else to sell your home, maybe someone within your brokerage or team member, whatever it is, but it can actually save you a lot of money. And I know people might look at it as, well, if this is my industry, I may as well sell myself. I'm telling you, I've seen it more time than not that when people have that emotion attached to it, they jeopardize thousands of dollars in the process. So just something to consider, but I've seen it a lot of times where realtors just don't know how to put aside emotions, and they bring that involved in the negotiations, and that can jeopardize deals. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe. And if you guys have any suggestions about what you'd like to see next, shoot me a message in the comments or message me directly, and I love to hear your feedback. Thank you guys again, and until next time.